Dallas, Texas. How
Yes,
long are
sir.
you in Dallas?
Hey, right there in the Plano West area of North Dallas. That's where we bought our Marriott Courtyard, as you know, last year and took over management just about 2 weeks back, actually. So we are self-managing and really trying to look into the operations more and look at the personnel and how people are doing, what they are doing, how our weekend sales are very low, very, very low. Weekend sales, we are 100% occupied during the weekdays, but people have been kind of complacent.
So it
Not
sounds like
really
you've
pushing
got a
us.
very business-friendly hotel. So give us a quick little review of that hotel because you
It
got
is,
little
it
cubbies
is.
where people do meetings.
There are three meeting rooms here, and lots of Fortune 1000, Fortune 500 companies' headquarters are here, this part of town. So a lot of business travel happens. That's why our occupancy is almost 99 or 100% Monday to Thursday. But then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's dead. And that's what we're going to be increasing sales about $1 million by reaching out to the families and the sports teams. Lots of people come here, right here, over the weekend, and they play at the stadiums and all from Arkansas, from other states and all. So we'll be dropping our rates down to beat the other hotels over here. So that's what our
This
strategy. Yeah.
this actually plays really close into the principle we're talking about this Saturday. So welcome back, Alchemists. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Walter Morello, and the great Vinny Smile Chopra. We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires, and we've built over 40 together over the last 6 years. So, Vinny, today's principle 17: offer high ticket items or high volume sales or both. And what you're actually doing is talking about how to increase your volume in sales. Before
Yes.
we dive deeper into this, how did you get into this deal? This was obviously a big deal. You sold the opportunity to get into it to large investors, accredited investors.
Yes.
And what was the minimum buy-in? What was the minimum ticket that somebody would have to invest in order to get into this hotel, this hospitality
To be
business?
truthful, most of my investors come in at 250, 250,000, 500, or a million. My next door neighbor, I might have mentioned, he put 1 million into this hotel, 1 million. And then the key thing was that I think high ticket item, when you are dealing with them, 20 years back, I made a decision. People wanted me to give me 25,000 to try me out. I said, if you're not sold on the deal, then I don't want your money. And you know what? They had a lot of money, but they just didn't want to give me, right? They didn't trust me. So I just set a bottom line of 100,000. And it was kind of thinking wise, logically, being an engineer. If I deal with high net worth people and they give me 100, their colleagues are also high net worth because they flock together, right? They will talk about, how well the returns are and blah, 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 right? Directors of all these IT companies in San Francisco, doctors, attorneys, lawyers, all that. So that's what started. So it's a good thing. That's principle is don't undersell yourself. You solve a bigger problem for high net worth people, you will be very much nicely rewarded.
So
And
you just described a lot of things of this principle here. You said solve a bigger problem, right? For higher net worth people by setting the bottom bar of $100,000 to get into one of your deals, you
yes,
eliminated doing deals that were two families, right? You eliminated
yeah,
doing deals that were small 10 units or 20 units. This shifted what you were doing to it takes a 100-unit building or it takes a hotel with 50 doors or 100 doors or 200 doors in order to pull this off. Keys, right? Do they call it doors or keys in
peace,
hotels?
peace, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that
Totally.
that shift was you deciding I want to do more. So the high ticket product was a return on investment. What were you selling back then? What kind of products were you doing?
It has been multifamily, as you know, got to what, 75, 8,500 doors. So all that principle I kept keeping 100 minimum. 100 minimum. And what happened was by doing 100 and they got good returns, they increased it to 200, then 300, then 500. I think my top investors have 5 million, close to 4 million, 5 million. And they had that kind of money in their retirement funds, in their cash situations. But the other good part I remember is that I did tiered investing. What is tier investing? I said, you know what? If you give me 100, you'll be class A. If you give me 250, you're class B, better returns, better cash flow, better IRR, and better returns. Class C, 500,000, you get better returns. And that's what moved my investors from 100 to 250 to 500. And
It's
now
amazing. Everybody tries out with the 100,000. They
yes.
trial it out, see how it does, and then
Mhm.
over time they say, "Wow, I got my money back. Vinny did a good job. Let me
Yeah.
go in with the class B, that class C."
Yes.
So what are you doing today now? You're doing these hotels, and can we talk about it? I know
250,
we're on a
250. My
Zoom
Florida
call.
hotel, I
Yep.
put the bottom line at 250. No 100 at all. So, and guess what? People delivered. I raised like 3 million, whatever I need to raise with only five people. Five
Now, do you
people.
still do the tiered approach, or do you just
No,
do
in this
one?
one, in the Florida hotel, I just gave it the same class A. So I didn't want to make a distinction because I knew if they pay 500, they're going to get great returns anyway at their 500 investment. If they gave me 250, so I didn't want to make a class A, B, C there at all. We just
So
said you will
would you
make.
say the classes were something you used early in your career to bring in different levels of interest, or do you still do it? Do you think you'll do it in 2026? Let me ask that question.
Okay, I would say it's better to do those tiers if you are dealing with 50,000, 100,000, 150, 200 like that. Because if you want to have more money given by one investor, give them a reason why they should give you more money. And people like to give you more money if they get better returns. So you just give them 1% more. That's all. It's amazing how psychology works. If you just give them 1% more to investors, they jump, try to do everything possible to get to the next level.
Well, that's because 1% adds quite a bit
It,
to the
it
bottom
does,
line.
it does, exactly. And IRR, you could give 13% IRR at first level, 15% IRR, second level, 17% IRR, third level. So that way you could give them six. I've done deals like Princeton Park deal, 35 million. I bought it, multifamily in Florida. I remember we did actually 6.5% back then, or 7% maybe was the cash flow per year, targeted cash flow for the first level, 7.5 next one, 8.5 or 8% third one, and people jump to the second or third level. Yeah.
People jump where it makes sense, where they can understand the investment, where it makes a lot of sense. So this is a high ticket item, right? So you're selling, uh, is this securities? Are you selling securities? Are you selling loans? What is the
No,
product
no,
called?
these are all PPM driven. Like I have $50 million fund right now, right? Which is the whole PPM is done for that structure. And then people are able to get all documentations and they are at the title. The one fund which I have now, it's called specified fund under the PPM. So people can put money on the Monil Opportunities Fund, LLC, which is Delaware-based company, right? And the LLC. But then I could take their money and put in different assets underneath. So
So you're
that
creating diversification. This is a
exactly,
diversified fund.
exactly, exactly. But the thing is, many times in the fund, you put the money into everybody putting on the fund gets diluted underneath. In my case, it's a little different that the investors choose where to put the money in what deal, and then it's closed. So I five people who came into this Florida hotel, only five will stay there. And then we'll be able to give them K1s from the fund level and everything and the negative uh, what's that called? Amortization, no, cost segregation effect and everything. So every investor will get different K1s. Like Avastar does it all together, but since I'm not with Avastar anymore, so I am able to do it now through our CPA. From O'Neill Opportunities Fund, we'll give out five K1s to the investors if they have five deals with me under the fund. So it's a very good way. I mean, it's just that I don't want to do the whole shebang about one K1. Investors don't mind at all. If they can get several K1s with a lot of negative, you know, negative effect on their W-2 income in hospitality. You could do that with the general partner, level at the asset level. And that's a loophole. A lot of people don't know that, and it's a very valid loophole where people can invest in hospitality with me and then write off their negative against their W-2 income.
And so there's usually you're just speaking to exactly what a high net worth person is looking for. So you're
Yes,
solving their tax burden, you're solving the return issue of like, well,
yes,
where do I put my money? How do I get a good return?
right.
So this is high volume sale, high ticket sales. So
Yes,
let's
yes.
shift gears. So high ticket sales, your type of high ticket sales where you're selling an investment is backed by high volume sales, by
That's
a
the thing.
product that sells to a different avatar, a different customer. So now
Yes,
we're shifting high ticket to
yes.
high volume.
High
So
volume
so explain a little bit
combination of the two.
how you increase, like how many units do you have in this particular hotel? Because you have a lot of hotels,
This
but
is
this one.
153, 153. I'm looking at another one which is coming on the table right there in Florida, which will be 172 keys, I think. Then there's another one we are looking in Ohio. That's going to be 220 keys. Wow, wow. So
Wow.
we're going some big volumes. And then the best thing is when we are able to give that negative K1 to our investors, they love us. They love us. Well, it's kicking down the road. It is because 1031 month. No, not 1031 minus cost segregation. You have to capture it upon sale. So you have to be kind of careful about that too, right? You want to make sure that you are able to let the
Yeah.
investors know. I mean, they get that negative in today's dollar ordinary income, but when we sell the property, it's a capital gain. So that is capped at 20% max. Yeah,
And so you
20.
probably have a lot of investors who roll with you again, so they can avoid
Yes,
taking that gain. As long as you sell early in the year, you have
totally,
all year
totally.
long to go and find another property, go and do a cost seg.
Right.
For this type of volume, right? You were
Oh,
talking
I
about at the
lost your
beginning of the
volume.
call. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, at the beginning of
Your
the call, you
volume
were
went
talking
out.
about. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? Okay. Maybe I did it.
I hear you. Yep. Do you hear me?
Oh,
Oh,
I can
there
hear
we
you now.
go.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
you're talking about at the beginning of this call filling the weekends, right? Right now you're getting 93 to 100% occupancy during
Yes.
the week, during the
Yes.
weekdays. There's
Yes. Yes.
153 keys that are being filled weekly. Um,
Yes.
but now on the Saturday, Sunday, that's opportunity for you. It's a different
Huge,
demographic, right? It's a different
huge,
demographic, so you got to go
different
shift. Uh,
family,
Tell me,
family,
tell me, what do
and
you think is revenue by filling the weekends? Like, why would it make sense to sell even more, sell those keys one more time for those 2 extra
totally,
days?
totally. See, our goal is 6 to 7 million revenue a year, right? We are at about 5 million or so, five and a half. So 1.5 million will come from that weekend traffic, because heads in beds, that's the focus. I mean, if this hotel room is not filled over the weekend, we lose money, right? It's like a fresh vegetable, right? The hotel rooms are like vegetables. They are the freshest in the morning and they are already withered away and thrown into garbage at the end of the night, right? So you got to fill every room you could fill at whatever price. Of course, it has to make sense. Expenses should be less, and then revenues, should make at least some marginal profit, right?
Right.
So that's
It's a fascinating conversation to have because you see a $1.5 million revenue improvement by
yes,
selling 300 keys over a weekend, right? Because you're selling
you
that
got it.
same
You got
key
it.
multiple
Even
times, two
Friday,
or three
Saturday,
more
Sunday.
times.
No, this is
Right.
like actually 3 nights, 3 nights. So it's actually 300, 153 times three. We're
So
looking at
140, over 140, 150.
150 times three, 450.
The 450,
450.
459.
And 459 times, even if we sell it at $70 a night, it commands $220 during the day. 220 during the weekdays. 220.
Wow. I'm doing it right now. 459 times 75 equals an
How
extra
much?
$34,000, right?
Oh, shoot. Look at that. Look
So
at
now
that.
you can say to your staff, hey, look, every night we're not filled on the weekend is 31 is for the whole weekend is $34,000. Let's go fill this
Look
thing.
at that. Look at that. Yeah. It's mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Because
You
it adds
know?
up, right? Every door, every key adds up. What are some of the
Sure.
tactics you're using, and why do you focus on businesses that have this many keys? For instead of buying a hotel with 20 keys,
No,
why are you
no,
doing
no. See,
$150?
that's the other thing. I always teach that to my students and my team and mastermind. Go for bigger paychecks, go for bigger things. Because if you're going to be working with 20 unit, you have to have five of those to give you 100 units. So you're 5 times more effort you're going to put in. Now, if you get like my apartments I used to buy for 100 units, then I went to 200, 300, 400 units. Now you're able to package it with the same effort, same P&L, one loan at 400 units as compared to 10 of the 40 units, see? And you cannot scale up. The biggest problem I find people have is not being able to raise the money because they don't go through the art of raising money, which they need to. And that's it. Money is all around us. There's like, well, how many trillions? $37 trillion are in retirement funds in this country. 37 trillion. So I mean, you're looking at big number, brother. Yeah,
Trillions, trillions. Most people
trillions.
think the billionaires are rich. Think about trillions. Elon Musk doesn't even have a trillion yet.
I know, I know.
That's
Hey, he'll be the
that's
first one who's going to make $1 trillion payout. I didn't know that. Pay $1 trillion. What?
I saw something the other day, and it was said that Elon only has $750 million in his bank account liquid right now,
Oh, really?
and
Wow, wow,
that's
wow.
all he's got. But
Mhm. He's smart. Money is losing, power. 96% of the power dollar has, lost. So we are only at the 4% level right now. When the dollar really got into 1915, it's just losing. And inflation eats it up. See, that's the thing. 3 to 6% inflation, your 100,000 is worth only 94,000. So the more you are able to get into, and AI is going to take out so many jobs. I mean, we have not seen, there is a big fall coming in stock market and everything. Look at what's happening today. I mean, it's just mind blowing what's happening. One should be looking at how they can save their job. I know you and I talked, Bo and I talked too in our show, because AI is replacing so many jobs. There'll be and it's hard to get a job at 57 years of age, or 55 or 50 years even, because you got to jump on the gun with AI and find ways how you could protect yourself.
and this goes back to the importance of investing. This goes back to the importance of
Yeah,
understanding
yeah.
how to generate
Owning a
income
business.
beyond
Yeah,
yourself. I talked about this with somebody yesterday. He asked me, he said, "What do you think about with AI? Like, you're buying real estate. Don't you think the robots and the AI are going
yeah,
to
yeah,
eliminate you?" I said, honestly, the robots and the AI are already employed by us. So we're going to keep hiring and keep buying robots, keep
yeah.
buying AI.
Yes, yes.
But as far as ownership goes and investing goes, I think that's the last thing that AI really takes over in a meaningful way because AI doesn't have a reason to own. It doesn't have, there's no real competition there. So I know you got to
Yeah.
jump because you have meetings that you're jumping
Yeah,
into.
right.
Vinny,
Thank
what's
you,
a piece of
brother.
advice you give somebody
Yeah.
before we log off?
Sure. I would say definitely look for bigger. I always say monkeys doesn't like one banana. Monkeys like bunch of bananas. I remember there was a book I read, sell like a madman and something. There's a great book out there. I'll pick up that title. It talked about sell in bunches. Don't just be selling to one person at a time. That's why I've got 57 accredited investors who are going to be watching me and meeting with me this coming Thursday about yeah, brand new people. I don't know them from Adam, literally, but that's going to be fantastic. So that's what Eventbrite is doing for me, bringing
I
new
was
people.
just gonna say, so if somebody wants to jump in, they can go to Eventbrite, look for
Yeah,
Vinny Chopra.
vinnychopra.com/events. Yeah,
Excellent.
and I'll be doing once a month. I think is a pretty good thing. I was trying to do two a month, but once a month is great. And then we are doing 20,000 hour email list and everything. Then we're going to be going into advertising also, Facebook advertising, so that's the new thing for us. So because I have to raise 40 million this year, 40 million. Yeah,
Helping more people,
it will
Vinny.
happen
Helping more people.
happen.
It's
Yeah, helping the people. We know, and all in hospitality because that's what it's cash flowing. 22% IRR. Who doesn't want it? 22%.
in a market where the stock market keeps going up and down, it makes sense to
Yeah,
get some stability into your
so true.
portfolio.
So
Ladies and
true.
gentlemen, this is Abundance Thursdays with myself,
Thank you.
Walter Morello, and the great Vinny Smile Chopra. Vinny, enjoy the rest of your meeting. For everybody
Thank you,
else, we'll
brother.
see you on
See you next week.
Saturday.
California. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Cheers.